Welcome back to Alva's Garage. So today's project, I'm going to try to fix the FJ40's lean. So there's about a 3-degree lean to the passenger side. I didn't know this was a thing. My brother-in-law pointed out. I kind of noticed it every once in a while, but I didn't actually know this was a common issue. So since the gas tank is on the passenger side, the spare tire is on the passenger side, there's a lot more weight on the passenger side than it is on the driver's side. So Toyota has a fix of essentially placing a spacer, a 3/8 of an inch spacer between the spring and the axle to account for the additional weight. That should level out the car. So I went ahead and measured it. So I got 4.5 degrees of lean. I measured the ground because the ground is slightly sloped for water. So there's about 1 degree slope on the concrete. So the car has about 3.5 degrees of lean. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking apart the spring holders and create a 3/8 inch spacer to add between the leaf springs and the axle. And we'll see what the lean looks like afterwards. So stay tuned. Since the FJ40 is so high off the ground, I actually have a little stand that I didn't put the jack stands on to be able to hold the frame. So I'm going to lift the FJ40 up from the axle, remove the wheels, put some jack stands on the frame, and hopefully lower the axle enough for it to be suspended so I can actually have the tension off the leaf springs and be able to remove the springs from the axle. Now that I have the FJ40 lifted up, there's very little tension on the spring, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the spring retainer. I'm actually doing both. I have a 4-degree shim. That's aluminum. I'm actually going to replace it with the steel one, so that's why I lifted up both sides. And the reason I have that is I need to align the drive shaft so it'd be level at the yoke, since I'm running a double cardinal at the transfer case. So one thing I discovered on the driver's side kind of spring perch, it's not quite flat. You can kind of tell it's bent. So I'm debating whether to heat it up with a torch and try to bend it back, or lay a bead of weld and then grind it flat. I think I'll give a shot of trying to bend it back first. And if that doesn't work, then I'll lay a bead across. Alright, so I gotta make sure not to hit the brake line. I'm trying to hit it with the torch. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to grind down the surface so they can get a clean weld in. So nothing's always quite as easy as you anticipate. Lay down a couple beads, flatten it out, and now this fits nice and flush. Alright, passenger side is done. Now it's time to start working on the driver's side. Alright, since I didn't have a 3/8 plate, I went ahead and welded a 1/4 inch with a 1/2 inch to come up 3/8. So time to drill a hole and put it together. Alright, so I think I'm done for now. Got a 3/8 of an inch spacer. And now it's time to put on the wheels and measure and see if the lean is resolved. So we'll see. Alright, went ahead and put the tires on, and I calibrated the little scale here to the ground, so it still has about 1.5, 1.4 degrees of lean to the passenger side. So definitely improved, but still slight lean. So I'll probably measure it when I get about half a tank. I think the tank gas right now is about full, and see how much the lean is with half a tank. If it's fairly even, then I'll leave it. If it's still leaning, then I may just increase the spacer. But other than that, so far, busy day. A lot of little things that went wrong that I wasn't anticipating, but hopefully everything is resolved now, and we'll go take it out this weekend and see how it goes. So as I was cleaning it up, when I took the measurements initially, the tires was swung out, so it kind of added a little bit more leverage to the right rear corner. So I kind of went ahead and put the tire where it would normally be and remeasured. So now I'm at 1.1 degree, 1.2 degrees of kind of leaning towards the passenger side. So definitely made an improvement. I can't quite notice any lean to the right, maybe slightly, but then again the ground itself is leaning to the right, so it's hard to say. So I'll go ahead and take it for a drive and measure it a couple times and see if it levels out. But overall, definitely made an improvement. It's not as visibly noticeable. Now you really got to pay attention to see if it's there, versus originally you can kind of just see it from the corner of your eye. So hope you enjoyed. It's hot out here. I'm sweating. My hair is a mess, but it was a good day. So take care.